Good evening. Good evening, and welcome. Welcome to the January meeting of the Board of Directors of the Celebration Residential Owners Association. We'll call the meeting to order. First of all, we have the Snowball Express presentation.
Yes, sir. Thank you. My name is William Boyle. I'm the Vice Commander of the Veterans.
We can use the microphone, please, so
Right up here, the microphone.
I need a microphone?
that our viewing audience can hear you.
Okay. My name is William Boyle. I'm the Vice Commander of the Veterans Organization of Celebration. With me is my commander, Karen Merck, and she's Lieutenant Colonel in the Air Force. Next is CPO Mike Sontag. I got it. He was in the Navy. And then we have Commander Wendy Hub. And myself, I was an airman. We won't go through any ranks. We're very happy to be here. Members of Veterans Club of Celebration want to thank you for giving us this time. We thank the people of Celebration for the help they extended to us that made Snowball Express so successful. Many children, the survivors of military personnel that were killed in the service of our country, were given a couple of days of fun and enjoyment at Disney. Because of the generosity of the people in Celebration, especially the organizations that are the bedrock of our town, the mission was very successful. Would the following people please come up? I'll call up one at a time, and please stand aside because I'd like to get a picture of you. Steve Waring.
That's me.
Steve, who's got the plaque? Steve. We are given plaques of appreciation. And I just want to tell you, these are different, but everyone has two. On the inside of that is another, Steve. There's another one in there, if you like the black and white better than that one.
Oh, excellent.
Okay? Don't take no chances, I'm married. And the next person, Debbie Jackson, she's going to receive for her husband. She's standing in for him.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
And Gloria. Gloria Neat.
Thank you.
Without the assistance of these people, it would have been very difficult. Gloria, for tremendous help that she gave, and the foundation gave from the foundation so generously. It was very important. Steve Waring for giving us the building here and helping us with the storage and transportation was tremendous. We had a pile of food in there and a pile of water. And that takes us down to Mike Jackson, who was very fundamental in getting his food together and the water together and getting it shipped out, and it had been very difficult without him. And the Veterans Clubs, thanks everybody. I was told to get out of here real fast. The Veterans Clubs, thanks everybody. You made it very successful. And there are rumors that we may be doing this again, so stand by, folks. We could use your help. Thank you.
We thank you for all your service, for your commitment with Snowball Express, for the kids, and for whatever's going to come in the future. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here and honoring these.
Thank you.
And if there's any vets that want to join us, we meet here second Thursday of the month.
Thank you. Second Thursday of the month.
Second Thursday of the month.
Thank you so much. We'll move to owner's comment period. We have two who have indicated they'd like to speak. So we have Celia McFadden.
Thank you.
To the microphone.
My name's Celia McFadden. I live at 1007 Celebration Avenue. I have nothing to complain about, for a change. I just want to say with the new year starting and the first meeting of the year, I just want to thank you guys and lady, the board, for everything that you do, for the hours and hours and hours that you put in, and the abuse that you take at times, and, you know, it doesn't go unnoticed. It may seem that way, but it doesn't. You guys really dedicate all your time, and it's a thankless job. And I mentioned the word job today. You get paid for it, but you guys don't get paid. It's volunteer, and I just want to thank you as a resident on everything you do. The new board, the old board, we're here for one reason, celebration.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to use my prerogative. If you would fill out the rest of your 3 minutes. Can you say some more for the rest of it? I'm kidding. That was very kind. Thank you very much. That means a lot to us.
Thank you.
Dave Finnegan.
Hi, I'm Dave Finnegan, 402 Elderberry Court, pioneer resident of Celebration. I'd like to echo the last two presenters. First, I was a U.S. Army captain, and second, we really appreciate what the board does. And although I've been up in front of the board many times saying, why don't we do more about sustainability? Why don't we do more about sustainability? I finally went, hey, why don't I do more about sustainability? So I started a Facebook group on December 22nd. In 10 days, we had 114 members of the Celebration Sustainability Advocates. And we aren't here to ask you to do things, we're here to do things. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have on February 2nd our first sustainability showcase. And it's going to be at the library. We've already reserved the room. We're going to talk about solar. We're going to talk about other things that we might be interested in as a town. And we've got speakers coming in and so forth. So this is just to let you know that we're trying to take burdens off your shoulders, not give you extra things to do. It's kind of like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Well, I'm considering you, the horses, and what we have to do is make thirsty horses. And the way we make thirsty horses is by going out and doing things ourselves that demonstrate to you that we really care about sustainability and celebration, and then I'm sure that you will help us along. So thanks a lot. This is just a warning, and I have to go to another meeting down the block. So
Thank you so
I'll
much.
see you. Thanks.
Thank you for being here, Dave.
What time was that meeting, Dave?
That meeting started 10 minutes ago.
No, the meeting in February.
The one in the library is from 1 to 2:30 on Saturday, the 2nd of February, in the big room.
Thank you very much.
Oh, and we're gonna have many electric vehicles out there. We've already got 4 of them committed, so come see.
So he said there'll be at least 4 committed electric vehicles. Anyone else? No one else checked unless someone who came in late checked that they wish to speak. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak? Seeing none, can we verify that the meeting was properly noticed?
Yes, it was.
Thank you, Steve, and verified quorum.
Yes, you do.
Thank you. Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we'll now formally call the meeting to order. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda? Thank you, Jack, and Debbie seconded. Approval of the minutes. We have CROA workshop from 12/3/18 and CROA board meeting 12/17.
Motion to adopt?
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Debbie, and second from Vaughn. Any discussion on that? Any changes, modifications? All in favor? Aye. Committee reports, ARC. Welcome. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all, not just to you, but to, all right, happy New Year. Michael.
Thank you, Michael Valiquette, Chairman of the Architectural Review Committee. In December, we had 92 applications reviewed, 88 were approved, and only 4 were not approved. top ARC requests in December, which has been leading for a while. Security devices 18, roofing 16, structural changes 15. Security devices are becoming more and more popular, you may have noticed. But a couple other notes. Nicole, one of our members, had to step down due to work requirements. She's been, last I heard, she was transferred to Japan, and she can't attend meetings, so she's finally realized that she better step down. So if anyone wants to join ARC, now would be the time. Community standards over here can help and get your name on a list, and then these fine people would appoint you. Same with residents who have any questions on permit applications, take them to community standards. You can also get applications online as well. So any questions for the chair?
Questions from the board? Continued good service, thank you.
Thank you, and ditto to everything that was said by you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. You're leaving now?
I know.
Well, yeah,
Not that we're noticing
you
that.
guys make the big bucks. I don't get it. See you later.
Dog park. Like, who's going to speak?
Fun updates, so thought we'd share them. But first, the committee reviewed the incident report, and we addressed the news that was here in Celebration about the dogs. And we were thankful to have Debbie and Sheriff Wineland come by and to give us an update from their perspective, because as soon as we heard about it, we decided to, we met the next day, actually, that was our scheduled meeting. And Sheriff told us, there had been no report to the sheriffs. There had been no report to animal control. There had been no report that we found out to town hall, and there had been no report to board members about it. So what we sort of came up with was that maybe these were all isolated incidents and just kind of a fluke because it was around the holidays and so on and so forth. But we did recommend that something be posted to the community. I guess the decision was not to, and I'm not really sure where we stand on that or what's going on. We did have some follow-up as far as going to residents and so on and so forth, but we think that it was these were isolated incidents and none of them were related. That's what our committee decided and thought at this time. We don't know, we'll follow up with it next time. The committee also reviewed the conditions and hole replacements at the dog park, and also we're still waiting on updates and approval for lighting that we feel best fits in the dog park. The committee also discussed some fundraising options, and we're in the final stages of having T-shirts made. We used to have them at Posh Pooch. So the committee decided that we're going to try to make up something really fun and sell T-shirts and hats as far as our fundraising endeavors, along with also having the applications for the tiles and the bricks for the monument and for around the park. And also we talked about there's a popular way of raising funds, and that is taking ownership of a fire hydrant. And you submit what you'd like it to look like. If you'd like it to look like a bubblegum machine, you submit that. If you'd like it to be an action figure, you submit that. And then if it's approved by the committee, you can adopt the fire hydrant maybe for a year. And we did get approval. It'll be okay to do. We can still change them back to the red. But it would be kind of fun, and we're, proceeding with that. So I think that's about... also, we're always looking for upcoming ideas for the magazine for articles about the dog park. So if anybody ever has it, they can submit to Maureen or any of the dog park committee members, and we could pass it along. I think that's it. Any questions?
Sorry, I just want to clarify the fire hydrants. Thank you, by the way. The fire hydrants, the ones that are at the park, right?
They're not real.
The fake
Yes,
ones.
not the real. Just want to make it publicly known.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, the ones at the dog
functional
park.
ones.
Thank you.
So, keep trying to figure out how many we have. Did Joe? 7. I think we started with 7. Yeah, it was 12. 7. So we're going to come up with a number, and you can adopt it for
I saw one, believe it or not, they adopt them for $5,000 a piece per year.
get it.
We'd
You
love
get
that. But we haven't gotten that far yet, but,
So to be clear, the incident with the dogs that you were talking about, where dogs had, there'd been things thrown in yards and stuff like
Correct.
that, that was making dogs very ill. Yellowstone is also here, and they were going to speak to also the chemicals they use and stuff like
Okay.
that, because that'd been one of the questions raised too, so that'll be later.
Jerry's here also if there's any
Yeah.
questions anyone
And I-
have related to the legality of
Right.
stuff being thrown in the
I do understand that animal control is investigating. There
Right.
were calls after the meeting that was the day that we spoke, so.
Right.
They're investigating, so.
right. I think it's sort of ongoing, but if there are, we still think it could have been separate incidents that were not related, because they all seem to be somewhat different. Jerry, do you want to
So,
go ahead?
so just to be clear, your committee is all about the dog park and that facility on the civic corridor, although you address things that happen in the residential area.
No, well, yes and no, okay. That incident came to our attention
Right.
as dog park committee members.
Right.
And so when we met,
Right.
we sat down to bring everything and put everything on the table that we knew.
Okay.
What a board member knew, what sheriff knew, and we have some very hands-on dog park people like Joe.
Right.
And they, and Maureen, and so on and so forth. And then what we did was compile the information,
Right.
and then we presented
You
it to
funneled it to-
Jerry, and then Jerry.
Okay, good.
They
came back
dragged
to
me into it.
Don't tell him what you know. He did it, by the way, he did it excellent. He was right there at the right moment that we needed him, and we thank you.
That's why I'm here, right? I got off the phone with Animal Control about 20 minutes ago, as a matter of fact, or Animal Services. They're no longer Animal Control. Animal Service, last week I was on the phone with them for an hour at a time. I was on the phone with our dispatcher. The day after the news report broke, our patrol captain called me. I had sergeants calling me going, what in the heck is going on over there? We all checked for calls for service, and there are no calls for service to the sheriff's office. The morning of the 11th, I believe it was, Animal Control, after seeing the news report and being notified by our command staff, decided to come out here, found the lady, and then started their own investigation based on that. We don't have a report, usually a situation like that. The sheriff's office is going to refer Animal Control or Animal Services to take that investigation. If they would have found anything criminal or anything of that sort, something done on purpose, they refer to our detectives. They go on and hopefully we make an arrest and put somebody in jail for it. Based on a report from Animal Control, or Animal Services, sorry, the dogs definitely did ingest something, but the report indicates that those two animals within the household have also eaten shoes and pillows and bedding for years prior to this incident. So they ingested something. Where it came from, we don't know. Something definitely happened, whether it was intentional or something that was found in the yard or at home by their own dogs. There are no other reports for Animal Control. They went back several months looking for anything that would connect this incident to any other incident in town. There is nothing. So it does not appear that anything was done maliciously towards animals. We always recommend people watch what your dogs are eating, and my dog eats rocks, for God's sake. So if you're not watching your animal, if they're running around in the yard, it's something always to look at. So they don't have anything further. According to the report, the vet that handled those animals didn't want to get involved, so we don't have any information. The items that were taken out of those dogs was previously discarded, so there's nothing available to be testing, but it did not appear to be any poison.
Jerry, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I was driving down campus on the way to the committee and drug him over here, and he came into the meeting. We just really appreciate you being here. That was wonderful.
Anytime. So, again, it's always watch your own animals.
Yeah.
Watch animals against other animals, especially in the dog park. They are animals. They're halfway wild.
Did you have any follow-up on the 4 homes that were broken into in the main village on December 20th?
I didn't plan on talking about that tonight. It was a Chilean group, believe it, that came up from Chile and started up in New York and worked all the way down the coast. An officer in North Carolina happened to check out with them when they had warrants, never ran them for warrants, didn't search the car, didn't do anything else like that. We ended up arresting one, and the other guys already went back to Chile. They currently have warrants. As soon as they get through TSA and all that stuff is going to snatch them up. So that closes, I think, all those burglaries, the residential burglaries, as well as a couple of the vehicle burglaries going all the way out even to Gaylord Palms. So it's a good snag by our detectives. So they put a couple, at least one in jail for now, and the other ones will
Do they know how
soon
many were
face
in
their
the
time.
group? It was a big group.
I didn't get that information. I want to say it was 3 or 4 based on the names and what they were telling me. So, it's again, eyes, see something, say something, front porch, back porch, call the cops. Really call it. And don't trust information all over the internet. Okay, it's not true.
Thank you, Jerry, for being here.
Appreciate that.
And again, I want to reiterate and thank him too, because I think that really helped to us to kind of nip it in the bud and understand what was actually going on or not. And again, thank you. That was you being here timely at our meeting when we had it. And we also talked about, and you asked about the dog park, how they're related. Well, we know the dogs sometimes go to the dog park and eat acorns, and they get sick. Some dogs have had urinary tract problems because they get stuck and they get sick. So we try to be all encompassing, although, we really are the dog park, but we try to help along the way where we can as a community outreach as far as putting things in the paper and so on and so forth. And I think Maureen does a great job. She's our chair and puts out an article every month too.
So Dory, thank you for all that. Thank you also for the signs in the dog park, the rules and regulations, but also the pick up after your animal. Jerry talked about dogs eating rocks or whatever else they eat. There's lots of notices of people not picking up after their own animals. So some of us will go there, find other gifts that have been left. So it's a reminder to our homeowners, and thank you for the signs.
And thank you for approving all of that, because I think it's really important.
And hopefully, we can do better with
And
picking up.
the committee meets on the first Thursday of the month, most of the time. But next month, we're meeting on the 21st instead of the 14th. And ours do change because we do have a traveling chair. She travels, so we try to accommodate everybody so we can have a quorum. So I just wanted to let you know on that.
And Dory, do you inform JR and staff as the meeting dates for the next month and the month after that so they can get them in the calendar?
When we end our meetings, actually all our meetings, even the recreation, we met on the 17th. We didn't have a meeting yet, so our meeting is next. We tried, because again, we have traveling volunteers, committee members, so we do try to put it in the minutes of when the next meeting's going to be, and hopefully that'll get that. We aren't real good at that in the past, but we're going to try.
Actually, my question was a little bit more than the minutes.
I'm sorry.
My question was more than putting in the minutes.
Do we tell him? We have not specifically done that, and